late July 1585, Manteo and Juan Chis and 107 soldiers under the command of Sir Richard Grenville returned to Roanoke Island. Sailing with them are Thomas Harriot and a gentleman artist, John White.
Raleigh, in addition to wanting to help cripple Spain, was also a Renaissance man, and he saw this as an opportunity to add to the scientific knowledge of England. And so he sent John White and Thomas Harriot to write a natural history of America.
Their towns are small and near the sea coast, some containing 10 or 12 houses. If they be walled, it is done with poles, fixed upright and close by one another. Their houses are made of small poles, made fast at the tops in round form, after the manner as is used in many arbours in our gardens in England.
Roanoke produced a record of Indian life and of the natural history of America that was absolutely unparalleled in the colonial period. They started with the very best and never even came close to that achievement again.
But from the outset, the new colony is in trouble. Upon arrival, the fleet's flagship, Tiger, runs aground. Saltwater breaches her hull, spoiling much of the English food supply. Manteo urges the Croatoans to assist the English, but Juan Chis advises his Roanoke chief, Wingina, to resist.
Manteo perceived the English as potential allies, as potential friends, people who could inhabit that reciprocal relationship and fulfill their obligations. Their inclination, according to their cultural worldview, was to share with these people, that if they had enough corn, if they had enough food, the proper use of that wealth would be to support people who had nothing.
Juan Chis, on the other hand, says, no, they didn't plan this thing right, and why do we have to help them out? Juan Chis always sees the possibility that European settlement isn't going to be good for the native peoples.
Grenville quickly departs, promising to resupply the colony the following spring. By late August, a small fort is established on Roanoke Island under the command of Ralph Lane, a veteran of England's wars in Ireland. Facing a small English army, Wingina offers his support to the colony.
Lane's exactly the wrong person to be dealing with the native peoples about the food. He's a professional soldier. He's tough-minded. There's no diplomat in him. And he takes an iron-fisted tack, really from the beginning. And the native peoples respond after a while in kind.
While Harriot and White eagerly document native life, Lane and his soldiers are more interested in seeking treasure than learning to farm or fish. Throughout the fall and winter, they explore the surrounding rivers and bays, looking for pearls and minerals, while also seeking a more suitable site for a permanent settlement.
Nobody thinks really that Roanoke Island can support any kind of permanent presence. There's not sufficient fresh water there, there's not sufficient land. And one of the places that Lane's scouting party finds are lands on the Chesapeake Bay, very close to where Jamestown's going to wind up being.
But like the Spanish before them, Lane and his men are spreading diseases that the Indians have no resistance to.
Within a few days after our departure from every town, the people began to die very fast, and many in short space. The disease so strange that they neither knew what it was nor how to cure it. Thomas Harriot.
With disease ravaging his people, Wingina stopped supplying Lane and his colony.
Wingina and all his men have run away from us and plan to leave their ground unsowed, which if they had done, there had been no possibility of us being preserved from starving. But they among them that sought our destruction should find their own. Ralph Lane.
Once the Indians withdrew their support, and it pretty clearly wasn't going to be coming back, Lane made the kind of decision a soldier would make. He took the offensive.
Under a sign of truce, Lane pretends to seek Wingina's counsel and leads a small company of men to his village on the mainland.
Wingina did abide my coming to him, and finding myself amidst 7 or 8 of his followers, I gave the watchword agreed upon: Christ our victory.
In minutes, Wingina and his men are dead, and the Roanoke scattered. As a warning to other traitors to the English cause, Lane has Wingina's head put on a stake.